Okay, it's not picking up you. So I think I gotta let me set up the thingy. I don't know why it's not picking you up. I don't know what. I don't know that was a different. Okay, let me. Yeah, you're still not coming on. I don't think. I'm not. Okay, what about now? Okay, you're not picking me up when I'm on the screen. Okay, so what about now? Are you picking me up now? Hello? Alright, alright. Yeah, you're not coming on desktop audio, like, at all. Let me, you know what, let me try something here. Let me add a new source here. Damn it, not that one. Um, audio output capture, maybe. Okay. Okay, so,
Titties.
okay, are you coming in at all?
All
Okay,
right,
you're
so
not
you.
showing up on desktop audio, like, at all.
That's weird. I don't know how. Yeah, I don't hear Kitty either. That's. I don't know. Yeah. Oh wait, no, I'm hearing myself.
Now? You're finally hearing
Yeah.
yourself?
I'm a lot. I'm a little louder than you are though.
Okay,
Also,
because
I'm
I'm not seeing you on my monitor, like, at all. It's not
That
picking
it
you
no,
up.
it won't show up on the monitor. I
Oh,
can hear it on the stream.
oh, so you can hear. Oh boy. Let me turn down.
Well, let's test Kitty. Say something.
hello. I've been quiet just because I figured we didn't need three voices testing.
Kitty sounds great.
Okay, so we're good.
You hold on. You need to be louder, AJ.
Turn my mic up then. Can you hear me now?
I mean, I could hear you, but me and Kitty are like twice as loud as you are.
Oh shit. Oh my god, I'm a dumbass. I just now saw the Discord. Um. Okay.
Hi,
Okay, I
T
just now
Sparkle.
saw the Discord monitor. So, okay, so why don't you say something, and April will tell us if you can hear us all equally well.
Breasts.
Memories.
Titties.
Yeah. The only thing that I can tell you to do because you're. Oh, hold on. My screen's flickering for a moment. Okay, there we go. In slobs. Let me. I can't stand to hear myself talk. Let me mute the stream for a second. In slobs, on your microphone thing. Do you have that all the way up, AJ?
Yes.
Okay. Do go into like kind of like the same thing as crop and pad. You know, like go into the filters and add a little bit of gain to it because you're coming through, but me and Kitty are significantly louder than you,
Okay, let me add some gain.
and that
Okay.
will fix it.
How much gain should I add?
I would do it incrementally, like maybe +3 at first, and test that.
Let me try 5.
Okay. All right. I'm
Okay,
once
how
again
about now?
monitoring the stream.
How about now?
More.
More. Okay, let me try a little more. How about 8? How about now?
Little bit more. Do 10.
Okay, let me one more. Let's how about 11? I turned it up to 11.
This goes up to 11.
Testing, testing.
It's okay. It's a little better. I would recommend at this point you just lower me and Kitty a little bit.
Okay. Okay, you test now.
Me.
I think you're good.
Okay. This is good as it gets then.
Yeah. I mean, I'm slightly louder than you two, but it's just I have like a powerful microphone, so.
Yeah.
You
and
also
you're just
project
a
quite
loud.
well.
You're a loud person
Yeah.
in general.
And you know what's funny is I'm really not. It's just this microphone is, it's really good.
Okay. I do not have a Discord thingy on the starting soon thing, so I'm just gonna. So you won't be able. Nobody will be able to hear you. But okay. So I guess we're about ready to start. 5 minutes late because of technical issues because I pulled a bill and did this at the last second. But that's okay. Alright, we're just gonna hop right into it. Our very first topic we're gonna talk about is, let's talk about the last couple of months. Let's talk about, the George Floyd protest. I got so busy with the, setting up, I forgot to do all the announcements. So, I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Your excitement is palpable.
Well, I while you're doing that, I just the very little bit that I want to say specifically about George Floyd is we're at the point now where I'm seeing posts where they're saying that he died years ago and this was a deep fake. You know what I mean? This is the sort of mental gymnastics that people are willing to go through to try to maintain the status quo.
Deepfake was always going to have that effect on news and announcements like that, but that's the saddest thing I've ever heard, that this was our first major use of it in the narrative around something.
Well, I mean, Gray just brought up a good point too. It wasn't. I mean, Sandy Hook was probably with what's his face, that asshole radio guy.
Yeah.
But I also hear that it wasn't really George Floyd. It was some homeless person that they used his name or whatever. And I'm thinking do we really are we at the point where these QAnon weirdos, or as Gloom likes to call them, the Pizzagate expanded universe, and they love the cops, and now they're going to say that the cops orchestrated this conspiracy to make themselves look bad?
Yeah, who benefits from this conspiracy? So the cops either killed George Floyd, or they killed a homeless person and also lied about it. What's the functional difference?
Or they faked it and pretended to kill somebody, which also doesn't look good for them. Why? I'm not understand. I understand there's some people who just everything has to be a goddamn conspiracy, but wow. And I'm really anxious to hear AJ's thoughts on it, but I'm just trying to fill a little bit of time as he's doing his thing.
Okay, well...
Or they're doing their thing. Apologies.
We're all set to go. Okay. Announcement made. Everything good to go. Okay, so this whole thing with the George Floyd protest, just wow. I mean... What really gets me about all this is how people I didn't think would ever be anti-cop have gone anti-cop.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. It's like they've all decided. It's like what blows my mind though is, on the one hand, I can't believe it took them this long to figure it out. But on the other hand, I guess I'm okay with it.
Is this going to be one of those moments that we talk about years later, where it's of course it was a horrible tragedy, but it woke people up?
Yeah, and textbooks and texts are going to pretend it didn't happen.
Well, yeah, because I was thinking it's any horrible thing that you can think of, you're okay, the perfect example, the Holocaust. It's probably the worst thing to ever happen, and it got us off of eugenics.
Yeah,
that's That's the silver lining, you know what I mean? And is the silver lining for this that we're going to see real meaningful change? It's a shame a guy had to, well, not a guy, several people had to die because of this.
Yeah, yeah. That's the kind. That kind of. It's funny though because if you look back at the history of eugenics was actually kind of popular in certain leftist circles because they were trying to, make things easier for working class families because they didn't have things like sexual education or anything like that. So you had all these people who were cramming out lots of kids, but they didn't have enough. They didn't have enough money to feed all these kids. And so a lot of leftists back in around the turn of the century were like, well, some of the stuff about, Planned Parenthood, a lot of this stuff comes from that same era.
Oh, see, well, I mean, you're talking about like birth control and such. I
Yeah,
was talking
because
about
that
like,
was all connected. That was all mixed in. It was all sort of like the same school of thought. And then,
not for long. Not
the,
for very long at all, right?
So then we kind of figured out, wow, eugenics isn't exactly the best thing in the world, is it?
I mean, is that human nature that we fail to see how bad something is until we see it brought to its conclusion?
That's very real. Yeah.
That's human history in a nutshell.
And then the question is the not only George Floyd murder, but the way that the cops are handling the aftermath of it, and the way they just seem to be digging their heels in, is that the end result, or do we have to see the bottom? Have we yet to reach the bottom?
That's a very good question, and I kind of feel like we've yet to see the bottom. Like, okay, that takes us into Chaz Chop, or whatever they're calling it now, the
I think it's Chop
enclave they have in Seattle. I'm really happy to see that, but I'm worried that we're going to see something like what happened to the Paris Commune back in 1871. The cops are going to come in and they're going to burn the whole place down.
Okay,
that's my feeling.
I certainly agree, but once again, we know that, like, and Kitty kind of touched on this a second, that the entire history of humanity is that no change has ever come peacefully.
Yeah.
That might need to happen because back in 1871, they didn't have everybody pointing a camera phone and putting it over the, like TikTok and all this shit.
I just realized.
And if something like that happens and that's on the news and that's all over the internet, it's going to be like the Hydra at that point. You chop one head off and 5 more grow.
It's like, I hope that's not what we need, but maybe that's what we need.
I think that AJ's right. We haven't seen the bottom.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see the bottom anytime soon.
I think people are only starting to wake up to the thought that we might be in a fascist situation.
Yeah, that's real. Okay.
And I actually have a note about CHOP, and it's kind of aimed at the people who are like, well, this is illegal, they can't do that. And I'm like, well, isn't that how America started? That we were on, first of all, that we just came and took the land by force, as colonizers, and then when we decided, you know what, we're going to do our own thing, and we went to war about it. It was illegal then. What's the difference now with a bunch of people like taking over like 3 blocks, and from what I understand, an extremely peaceful situation down there? Why did we allow ourselves to fetishize the law?
Yeah. What gets me though is how cops seem to think that they're above the law. That it's like
they are.
They're not just enforcing the law, but the law don't apply to them.
Well, they don't. That's qualified immunity.
Yeah.
One city got rid of, or a state. I think I read something about a state or a city getting rid of qualified immunity for cops.
And
the issue is that it goes up to the Supreme Court, and they've upheld it.
Yeah.
Oh, heck.
Yeah, our Supreme Court has
systemic.
been it's a crapshoot. You can never tell what you're going to get out of the Supreme
way of
Court.
saying it.
Like, okay, like I said, you can never tell what you're going to get out of the Supreme Court. Like, okay, Trump, he tried to pack the Supreme Court, right? And then Neil Gorsuch, however you pronounce his name, I'm not good with the name. He basically he sided with the pro-LGBT side on, whether or not employers can fire people for being queer.
And
And he was a Trump appointee, and everybody was expecting him to side against that, but he didn't.
well, see, the thing is that the Supreme Court, like once you're appointed there, you're there until death or retirement. I've never heard of a Supreme Court justice being disbarred, and I think like somebody like that, you'll kiss whoever's president's ass to get that job, but after that, you don't have to. You don't have to align yourself with Trump.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
Trump makes these assumptions that people are going to stay loyal to him, and we've seen time after time again, like John Bolton trying to release this book. Not that John Bolton's a good person; he's a piece of shit too. But he's releasing this book that's making Trump look like an asshole, and Trump's like, he's a loser, he's a liar, he's a scumbag, and it's like that woman asked him at the press conference, "Why do you keep hiring loser, liar, scumbags?"
Yeah, what gets me though is Brett Kavanaugh. He's still loyal to Trump, but what do you expect when he's a villain in an '80s teen movie?
That's real.
He could, well, he could be the protagonist in an '80s teen movie too. Depends on the
Oh
movie.
my God, yeah. That,
I mean, let's be real. The '80s teen movies were just like, hooray for sexual violence.
oh my God.
Like look at Revenge of the
okay, that
Nerds.
reminds me. Trump. I've heard Trump described as he's like the villain in a movie where the hero is a dog.
Oh my God, that is very true.
I know, right?
That is extremely true.
So I'm the type who, when I hear something, I like to look it up. And Necro, you said, or John, whichever, Necro John, you said
Whatever you're comfortable with.
you said something about no one on the Supreme Court has ever been disbarred. One person ever was impeached, and like Trump, impeaching did not actually mean he left.
Yeah.
He still served until he died.
Yeah, and just like impeachment, like we love to throw it at him on Twitter. You're still impeached forever, but we've never had a removal of a president in a peaceful way. Other than re-election. Voting them out. There's been assassinations, and there's been now 3 impeachments in our history, all which have led to acquittal.
Yeah.
It's not a good record.
Well, when you're looking at it, okay, so I don't think that Bill Clinton should have been removed for getting his dick sucked. I mean, that's kind of silly. But when you look at Andrew Johnson and Donald Trump, yeah, they both should have been removed, and any sane society would have gotten rid of those idiots.
Well, yeah, I don't know about that, Gray. I mean, let's be honest here. Andrew, jo-
Andrew Johnson was a maniac.
yeah, Andrew Johnson was a piece of shit. There's a
Andrew
reason that
Johnson-
Trump idolized him.
Makes Trump look like the Dalai Lama.
Oh my God. Yeah, and here's the thing. Donald Trump idolizes Andrew Johnson. He
Well, I
thinks
think he
Andrew Johnson
idolizes.
was an amazing president.
I think he idolizes Andrew Jackson, who was also a notorious piece of shit. But he was
I
never
think you might be
impeached. He was never impeached, though.
Actually, yeah,
was-
you're right.
yeah.
I got my
It was an
presidents mixed up
assassination
because,
attempt. No, Johnson was the guy that followed Lincoln, who was drunk in his own inauguration and did
yeah,
everything he could to
yeah.
dismantle everything.
I got my presidents mixed up because I'm secretly Canadian.
Well, okay. Well, why don't you come out of the closet today as a Canadian?
Well, I know how. Okay, you know how Canadians spell their own country's name? This is for you, Kitty. I apologize in advance.
I know what's coming. Oh no.
Dia, Anna, Dia.
That's awful. Yeah, okay. All right. That and
Oh.
just because turnabout is fair play, I'm gonna get my revenge here and tell a terrible joke
Oh no.
about two guys talking on a bus. These 2 guys, and they're saying, first Emma come, then I come, then 2 asses, then I come again, I pee twice, and I come a one last time. And then this old lady is like, how dare you talk about such filthy things in public? He's saying, I'm just telling him how to spell Mississippi. I might have shortened it. It might have come up as Mississippi, but you get the point.
That's great. Okay. The other big topic that we gotta talk about is Creep Fest 2020.
Well, okay, let's be real. How about Creep Fest 21st Century? Because wasn't I calling it Grope Fest 2014 at one point?
Yeah, that was back when Me Too first started.
Yeah.
That was like 2017, right?
I think it was 2015, somewhere around there. It was before Trump was even elected.
It might have been. Because I'm pretty sure you started it with,
with Cosby.
the Me Too thing.
It started with Cosby. I'm going to look it up. When was Cosby accused?
Cosby was the first really big one, right?
Yeah, because the reason I started calling it Creep Fest is because a lot of these guys are doing a whole lot more than just groping.
Okay, June of 2017 was his trial, so probably 2016 is when it started. But I just want to address something Kitty said. It's not that he was the first big, powerful man to be accused of such a thing, because that sort of thing has been happening forever. It's that it's the first time that people actually started listening, not because we're that great of a people, but because when 37 women are all coming forward one after another, you can only put your fingers in your ears going la 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 for so long.
That's a fair point. I tend to frame things more optimistically than they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real. And the reason I thought, so I was talking to CJ today on Facebook Messenger, and CJ told me, and I don't know if he's on right now. I think he's either at work or something. But he was telling me, because he brought something up with me today, and he said something about, apparently, there's something big is going on in pro wrestling right now, and so I asked him about what was going on, and he said, and I quote, an absolutely massive spate of sexual assaults, sexual harassment, physical and emotional abuse, and grooming allegations, with over 30 names named in the wrestling scene.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Yeah, and most of them are from the British scene, several from elsewhere. Many of them are both wrestlers for and the management of a company closely associated with WWE, and many of them are some others are with WWE itself. The police are investigating. The whole system is rotten to the fucking core, and it might bring the whole genre down with it.
Oh, okay. I don't mean to derail, but you said something that the police are investigating, and I kind of cringed for a moment because I'm like, what are they
but this is the UK police, which are slightly less garbage.
Okay, they're slightly less garbage. That's true. But I just thought of something. The defund the police movement, which came off of George Floyd. Did you know? And I found this out just a few days ago, and I kept it to myself because I wanted to bring it up here. Did you know that several powerful police unions in our country have stipulations in their contract that if they are defunded or if they suffer cutbacks in funding, they prioritize cutting rape first. That's the first thing they do, is they cut rape investigations, and it's a bargaining chip, because then if we start defunding them, they say we can't investigate rapes. Everybody hates rape, right? You need to give us more money, and then they spend that on tanks.
Okay, it occurs to me, I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but I probably should announce for everybody who's peeking into this show right now. Well, this is one big content warning. We're going to be talking about heavy stuff.
That is true.
Wait, this is my first episode. We're working off the kinks here, so.
Due to some adult content, parental discretion is advised.
I need an adult. I need two adults.
No, but I mean, we are talking about serious matters, and I don't want to trigger anybody. Obviously, this is the last thing I want. But yeah, I mean, the fact is that like the first thing that they want cut is that, not because they really want to cut rape investigations, but because they want to use that as a bargaining chip. Because nobody wants to be the person that cut funding to rape investigations.
I actually do remember reading that as well.
And it's horrifying because it's a tactic that's absolutely 100% going to work.
I mean, my first reaction thought is that, I mean, they barely do that anyway, don't they?
Well, I had an infographic up that I wanted to bring up, and I don't remember if I still have it up in one of my tabs, maybe, but I do remember the statistics from it. I don't have it up, but it was that the police solved 22% of violent crimes and only 7% of property crimes. Yeah. That's not a good track record.
No, I guarantee you, a lot of the domestic violence cases the police investigate are caused by them.
Yeah, oh, of course.
Yeah, because something like,
of course.
What was it? Something like about 40% of police are involved in domestic violence, something like that.
That we know of, reported, you should say, but but then they get away with it because they say, well, you don't know what we go through, we're stressed out, our job is so shitty, and it's like, well, mate, you know what, if your job is so shitty that you have to go home and beat your spouse, maybe quit.
It's your job. You're going to be spending your whole goddamn time being afraid of everything you do. Maybe get another job.
Could we talk about Officer Karen and the McMuffin?
Fuck.
Oh no!
I mean, this woman's
even not a real cop.
Well, she was a cop, but I mean, this woman is crying in her squad car, making a video and putting it out on, like Facebook or whatever, about the fact that her food took a little longer than she anticipated, and she's crying about how she's paranoid that they're trying to poison her, and this is the way they treat police. And I'm like, I'm sorry, if fast food not being fast enough for you causes you to go into a 5-minute crying rant, you shouldn't have a badge or a gun.
Yeah.
Or like most jobs, honestly.
Well, yeah, let's be real here.
I wouldn't even put her in the position of dog catcher.
Well, actually, it might be a fact if she starts crying, the dogs feel bad, come over to lick her face. And...
Aww.
Wow.
Well,
I don't know. Dogs can sense evil, so...
That is true. But, you're right. Like, the police are incredibly ineffective.
They're not just ineffective. I mean, okay, they're effective in what they're supposed to do, which is maintain the status quo through violence. But for the actual job of, quote-unquote, serve and protect the citizenry, they ain't doing shit.
The serve and protect thing is just a motto they put on their squad cars. The Supreme Court ruled that the police do not actually have a legal or moral obligation is the word I'm looking for, to protect people.
Yeah, I remember that Supreme Court case. And I bring that up with people sometimes with cop lovers. They say it's fake. That's what blows my mind. It's like in the last 4 years, you can't even cite information anymore because they'll just deny it. It used to be with these morons, you could say, if you get into an argument with some bootlicker, they demand, sources and citations and stuff like that, so you give it to them. Sometimes that will shut them up. Not anymore. Not in this era of fake news.
7% of the time that works. And by the way, you used an interesting term there, cop lover, but I prefer the original Latin term magistrophile.
I actually got into almost that exact conversation. It wasn't about cops. It was about that thing I told you about when you were streaming once, and it was one of my few remaining conservative friends posted a thing about we didn't spank our kids, and now look at them, and it's a picture of them, and there's a picture of someone rioting. And I'm like, okay, are you like against? Like, are you pro cop? Yes, he is. People shouldn't break laws. Whatever. He's fucking whatever.
Yeah.
And B. Did I say A first? Whatever. A and 2.
A, 2D,
Yeah. Spanking is child abuse anyway. Don't do that. And he's like, I disagree, and that's my opinion, and we'll have to agree to disagree. And I'm like, this isn't a matter of opinion. And then I found like 5 studies, and then TLDR'd them for him, and he just stopped responding. And shutting him up is one thing. I don't think he actually learned anything. I doubt he even read them.
Oh my god, that reminds me,
asking
years
too much
ago,
for people to learn.
Years ago, I was on a forum, and this guy, he was talking about how the Bible was all about peace and stuff like that, and there was nothing violent in the Bible. And so I brought it was something about, he was arguing that there was like no, there's nothing in the Bible that supports, beating women or whatever like that. So I brought up like about 10 different Bible verses, and I even did him a favor and I used the King James version.
Oh, that's the
Yeah, because
version.
I knew that was the version he would want.
It's
I got the
silky
King
smooth.
James version. I posted 10 different examples, and then he whined and said, "You don't really want an argument. You're just trying to flood me, so I'll leave the conversation." I'm like, I gave you examples of what you're denying exist from your own Bible.
To play devil's advocate for just one moment, if you really were just trying to flood him to get him to leave the conversation, if only something like that would actually work.
Yeah, that reminds me of every so often you'll hear some turf whining about how turf is a slur to silence them, and I'm just
If
like,
only it
damn, I
worked,
wish it
right?
worked.
Yeah. That would be great.
So this whole thing with the Creep Fest 2020, to go back to that, because I want to talk about Chris Avallone. This has been a really rough moment for me this past week. Chris Avallone and Warren Ellis. Both of these guys, they have created some of my favorite things in the world, and to find out that, now as far as I know, Warren Ellis is just a sex pest, but Chris Avallone is just straight up a predator. And, he's done the Fallout game.
Fine line. There's a fine line there.
Yeah, it is a fine line, and what gets me about Chris Avallone, though, is he's done the Fallout games, he's done Into the Breach, which really bothers me. He did FTL, which I know Kitty plays. He did a whole bunch of shit, and it's just like, all of these things I enjoy were made by a monster. And
you could
like,
just say that Hatsune Miku made them, but you're just kidding yourself at that point. It is something that we got to wrestle with.
Yeah, and this whole thing with having an anime character made Minecraft or something like that, I don't like that, because that basically, it's funny. It's funny, and I get why people do it, but I feel like it kind of means of avoiding the real problem here, where a lot of creators out there are just bad people. They make these amazing things, but we don't want to engage with the fact that the people who make the things we love tend to be bad people. Everybody is flawed. Everybody has their little issues. Everybody's got their hang-ups. I'm a total asshole, even though people love me for some reason.
Well, I disagree with two things you just said. One, you're not an asshole, so I disagree with that.
Seconded.
Okay.
But I also disagree with that we're not engaging by making those jokes, because when everybody knows Hatsune Miku didn't create Minecraft, Hatsune Miku didn't write Harry Potter, but when you're saying that, you're basically saying fuck you Notch, fuck you J.K. Rowling. That's definitely engaging it. It's doing it in a memey sort of way, but I think it definitely is engaging with it.
I think there's a certain, it's engaging with it, but it also doesn't engage with how much did that person being an asshole affect the work. And I think
that's what I'm getting at.
Oh, that's J.K. Rowling. It would be a lot.
That's the thing that I think those two are a very good contrast. Minecraft was made by a jerk, but you can play Minecraft. I don't think there's any jerkhood inherent in it, right?
Yeah, and also the joke last years ago.
Not as far as I know, but you could read Harry Potter and enjoy it, but still recognize the problematic areas of it, because anything, what form of media are you not going to find something problematic in? We're a problematic society.
That's true.
But I also disagree that AJ's not an asshole.
Well, I'm still an asshole, but at least I'm not a douchebag.
One of these days, maybe when you're feeling like doing a lighthearted episode, we can hear your criteria for the difference between douchebag and asshole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put a pin in that discussion. I'd love to hear. I would just sit and want to hear you describe what a douchebag is and what an asshole is and how they're nothing alike.
Say that again? I was distracted for like 2 seconds.
I would just love to sit and listen to you explain the difference between douchebag and asshole and how they're nothing alike, the criteria. And like, you would have bullet points. I would assume there'd be a chart involved.
We just need one. We just need 1 month where the news is quiet. So sometime.
No, so never.
Yeah, there'd be like a whole. I would have a whole.
Nebuary 31st.
February.
Yeah, I would. There would be a whole PowerPoint presentation. I'd show up in a suit.
Would you have like a laser pointer?
Yeah, it would be
Cool.
it would be a literal actual TED talk.
If we're living together at the time, I will hold the camera.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh. Yeah, I'll be that guy who like you know how like in every rap video there's that guy that he's not rapping or doing anything but he's just sort of like nodding.
Yeah, the hype guy.
Yeah, that's me, and they'd be like, hell yeah, just the whole time just like standing next to you like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I feel like all of us have been that person once in a while.
Well, everybody needs a crew, right?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and y'all are my crew.
Hell yeah, we are.
But yeah, I mean, getting back to the whole Hatsune Miku joke, I think that's also people's way of coping in a sense. Because a lot of people, for better or for worse, have defined huge chunks of their life by certain media, and then when you find out that, and you're wrestling with this right now because of Fallout, especially, you've always been such a huge, gigantic Fallout fan.
Yeah, I'm that person who likes Fallout 76. Nobody likes Fallout 76, except me.
Well, you and all the people that you play with.
Yeah, that's true.
But my point is that, like, I could only imagine what you're feeling right now.
Yeah, I look back, and now, to be fair, Chris Avellone has only worked on Fallout 1, 2, and New Vegas. So, the one Bethesda did, he had no involvement in. But, and I'm still playing Fallout 1. I mean, I haven't touched it in a few days. I gotta go back to it. But I'm telling you, I'm gonna find Chris Avallone's avatar in Fallout 1, and I'm gonna kill him.
There you go.
So this whole thing, and I know that Noun has been having problems lately with, I guess a streamer or YouTube player Cry has turned out to be a piece of shit as well.
When I heard about, I've never seen Cry's content, but when I heard about that, my heart went out to Noun because I'm just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's got to be devastating for somebody that you enjoy that much to turn out to be so shitty. And I think I could be wrong. And anybody and everybody is please tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that some people, if you really, really like something and you're really invested in it, and then the person who creates it turns out to be, utter garbage, you start to wonder if that's a reflection on you if you did something wrong by liking that thing.
That happened to me, because, that I used to be a big Megadeth fan, right?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I still am, but man, is Dave a piece of shit.
Oh my god, Dave turned into, Ted Nugent 2.0.
A slightly more talented with guitar Ted Nugent.
Yeah, that's true. And it blew my mind because, now the thing with Dave, though, is I had already kind of gotten out of heavy metal at that point, but I still went back and listened to Megadeth after a while. But, after Dave turned out to be such garbage, I realized, this doesn't really work for me anymore. I can't listen to this stuff. The only thing I can really listen to anymore when it comes to Megadeth is, what's the name of it? Cryptic
Writings.
Yeah, I like that one.
That's such a great, fantastic record. But, you touched on something there with Ted Nugent as well, because I remember Ted Nugent hated Dave Mustaine because he wrote that song Countdown to Extinction, which was anti-hunting. So can you imagine now they're probably in a position where if they met, they would just be in a mutual understanding that they will jerk each other off. But back then, not so much. I just killed AJ.
Me too, a little bit. I just have push to talk, so it's harder to hear.
Well, this is part of why I recommended that AJ turn that off, because, I mean, here, other than being the host, we want to hear everything.
Okay, so what did you want me to turn off? Oh, yeah.
No, you already did. It's good. It's good, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I'm always on now.
Yeah, always on is better for podcasts.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Unless you're in a noisy situation.
You know a thing or two about the streaming thing.
I've picked up a few things here and there.
You know what? Give me about 2 seconds, because my fan likes to travel, and it's traveling from the corner of the room. I gotta fix that. I'll be right back.
I'll give you more than 2 seconds. 2 seconds doesn't seem nearly long enough, especially with all the foot issues. if we gave them 2 seconds, then the show would be over.
Constant reviews fire. So for young women who are like, yeah, I actually now when you talked about it, when I saw you talk about it in Discord, I tried to watch the video and I got like,
I unfucked it.
Yay! I watched like 10 seconds of the video and I couldn't stand how like self-righteous it sounded.
See, I refuse to watch those fake crying apology videos because they're always like, I'm the real victim.
Oh my god, that's like, remember Onion Boy's apology video?
Which one? I'm not sure that I'm familiar.
Onion, that's his name.
I don't think I know that one.
Yeah, you do. I mean, he was that weird creep who was like really YouTube famous about 10 years ago. And then Chris Avalon.
Oh! Is that how you say his name?
Onion or something like that. I can't pronounce his goddamn name.
I thought it was like Onion or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Onion-chan?
Onion-san. I don't know how. I never watched him, so I didn't know anything about him really.
Yeah, and then Chris Avalon showed up. Not Chris Avalon. Chris Hansen showed up to his house.
Which, you know.
Jesus.
Yeah, if Chris Hansen shows up to your fucking house, maybe you should rethink your life a little bit.
Honestly, unless you are friends with Chris Hansen, if he's showing up at your house, it's not for anything good.
Yeah.
It really isn't. I mean, if he's there, he better not have a camera crew, right?
Yeah. I think one of you is picking me up, because I'm getting an echo of my voice.
Okay, that's probably me. That's why I have it on push to talk usually in the first place.
I have headphones on, so it wouldn't be.
It's not. I get a lot of. Hold on, I'm back to push to talk. I get a lot of audio bleed, so that's part of why I haven't.
Yeah, you've had a problem with audio bleed for a while.
Huh. But the Onion or whatever the hell his name is, like I've never heard anything positive about him.
No, the literal very first video I ever saw of him was a video titled 10 Things I Hate About Emo. And he literally starts it off with 10 Things I Hate About Jews. Oh wait, that's not the name of the video joke. And I'm like, I hate this guy immediately. I'm not even 30 seconds in and I want to run him to a wood chipper.
Yeah, you know, and it's interesting if you think of these guys like this one, and there was that other one who was having girls send butthole videos, and then they were really young girls too. And have you noticed these guys are all in their mid-20s, but they try to look 15?
Oh my god, yes. Ugh. It's like, and they keep doing it even as they start hitting their 30s.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's face it, that's not an accident.
No, it really isn't. It's like a lot of these guys, they're trying. It's like I feel like a lot of it, they're borrowing a lot from like emo fashion as well. Because I've noticed that emo fashion tends to make people look younger because of the way they do their hair and stuff.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah, and so I've noticed that a lot of these guys, they tend to borrow a lot of fashion ideas from emo. That kind of I find that interesting because, well, first of all, these guys aren't emo at all. And I'm not even saying this as a value judgment on emo. I like some emo bands. That's not even what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
well, no, certainly not.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, whoops, Chrome machine broke. What, you okay, CJ? Yeah, okay, I got distracted for a second. Anyway,
All right.
I'm just kind of rambling here. I guess my point is that, yeah, my point is that these guys are, I noticed that they tend to draw a lot from, like, really, really youth-heavy subcultures as well, like gaming.
But I think they're doing it consciously too.
Yeah, they do it on purpose because.
And whether you're doing it, I think even if you're not doing it for some like perverse, prurient reason, let's say you're just doing it for yeah, let's say you're just doing it for like a branding or whatever, like
yeah, for clout.
It's still like it's gross.
It's creepy.
It's still gross because like if this is what you are, if you're a 28-year-old man and you have to make yourself look a certain way so that 14-year-old girls will like you, you've taken a wrong turn somewhere.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden you're working for Disney.
Oh, jeez.
I think they've gotten a little better about that in the past few years.
Yeah, that's probably true. But I just remembered something, and now I've forgotten about it. There was just, what was it? There was a situation. Okay, so
if you heard something and then immediately forget it, did you ever really remember it?
Yeah, because I was going to say something, and then it just kind of left my brain. But it was talking about this very sort of thing. And it was talking about the way. Oh shit! Okay, I remember now. Nan will remember the story.
I mean, if a Gibbs cameo on the gloominjune channel.
Yeah. Yeah, hi Gibbs. Anyway, so now I remember the story. Now this guy, what I'm about to talk about, he was our age, but he basically kind of destroyed an entire online community through his own egomania.
Is this the Sonic guy?
Yeah, it was Jay Axer, and holy shit, this guy was a freaking sociopath. It's like, I told the story before. Yeah, now knows the score. I told the story before, and no, it never gets easier to talk about, especially since most of it isn't even though most of it isn't even really my story, it actually is the story of the person he heard most, because he was the one who told it. And so I'm gonna save most of the story for another time. But the longest story short of it is, this guy basically decided he got involved in the late '90s Sonic fandom, and he basically, and much of it we were like, we were kids from troubled homes, and we had problems at school. A lot of us were feeling pretty alienated, and we all bonded over Sonic the Hedgehog and Final Fantasy VII and stuff like that. And this guy is, he basically destroyed it for his own amusement.
Yeah, I mean, I only heard that story through you, and I didn't know who he was, but. Like he basically sounded like he did an online version of like the Sonic House.
Yes, yeah, it was a lot like that, and it gets worse though because this guy actually wanted to fucking work for Archie Comics on the Sonic the Hedgehog comic. That's the part that blows my mind.
That still blows my mind.
Yeah, it's like he did all that, but he was the one who was actually successful in our fucking fandom.
And what's interesting is you kind of mentioned, and he went to work for Archie Comics. Like if this happened today, somebody would have exposed it on like Twitter or something.
Yeah.
And then he would have been fired, and then there would have been these chuds out there talking about, they canceled him for something he did years ago. But I mean, like, there's really a reason that cancel culture exists, because like when you see horrible people who abused you and made you feel like shit and took advantage of you, in charge of something marketed towards other people who are impressionable, you want to jump in front of the bullet almost. You want to like save other people from it.
Right, exactly. And it's just like, it blows my mind. And see, the worst part is that this all happened 20 years ago, so it was all online drama, so nobody is going to take it as seriously. But what he did to, a mutual friend, that's something that really needs to be talked about. And it's not really my story to tell, and it's up to her to tell the story.
Is it possible to get this? I don't want to say the name because you're not saying it, but
yeah, I'm not saying it.
Maybe get that person on the show one day.
Yeah, maybe. We're not super close friends, but I think it might be it might be worthwhile to get her to tell the story if she wants, of course.
It could help people.
Yeah, because I mean, J-Ax, I don't know what he's doing right now. Do they even have the sound? As far as I know, he's still doing art, but I don't think he's working for Archie anymore. I don't know what he's up to. He might be selling his art. I don't know. Point is, though, the guy's a scumbag, and really, the first fandom really needs to know how much of a scumbag he is.
Okay,
they canceled Jay Naylor. They might as well cancel Jay Axer.
Do you want to know where he is? Jay Naylor
deserved it.
He works for Blizzard.
Oh, come on!
I just looked him up. I found his Twitter.
Why?
And he's still active on Twitter, by the way. He tweeted like 3 hours ago.
Oh, God.
That's the worst answer.
I'm sorry, but I had to tell you guys.
I mean, I'd rather know the truth, but Jesus Christ.
He works for Blizzard.
Blizzard, come the fuck on.
This is Blizzard we're talking about. Well, at the end of the day, way, I'm not surprised.
A certain mutual friend of ours on Twitter, June, that works for a certain comics company, follows him. That person may not be aware.
Yeah. Like I said, this all happened 20 years ago. And, I mean, if I wanted to be charitable, which I'm not, if I wanted to be charitable, I would say, well, no, it was 20 years ago, maybe he's different now, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? Let's all fuck that. People need to take responsibility for the things they did. And, no, this wasn't just ordinary teenage monster bullshit. This guy, he basically destroyed a bunch of people, destroyed a whole community for his own amusement. You can't really get away from that.
Yeah, I mean, if he was taking responsibility, you would have heard about it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like if he. I don't know. I just feel like something needs to be said about Jay Axel.
I'm gonna pop the Twitter link that I have in your Discord.
Okay.
So
post it in here too in the chat.
In the chat? Okay, I can do that.
Why does it always have to be shit like the Sonic fandom and Final Fantasy VII? Like, fucking let people enjoy things, assholes.
Yeah, I think what gets me... I think I have a theory about that. And we're kind of running low on time here, so I'm just gonna... We're just gonna end it here. But my theory is, these all came out in the late 90s. We were all millennials back then. And, we didn't really have... We were very young. I mean, I was maybe, 17? Actually, 1997, I was 14. And I was emotionally stunted. I was a big case of arrested development. And I didn't really have the words to describe how I felt at the time. All I knew is that I was angry. Angry at everything.
Well,
and, it's like, we look back on this now and we're like, why didn't anything happen? And I'm just thinking, well, we were all, like, okay, Sonic fandom, we all came from broken homes, we had trouble with our family, we were bullied at school, a lot of us had problems, and, we didn't really have the tools to deal with that, and then get online and we get bullied by the internet clique that we thought was supposed to accept us because we had shared interests. And so we just kind of accepted that abuse. I know I did, because where else were we gonna go? We thought people were our friends.
Yeah, well, it's like what I described. the arc that you had with TTLG.
Oh my
and
god.
and I know it's a sore subject, and I'm going to gloss over most of it, but I said something to you a long time ago because I was very concerned, and I said it sounds like an abusive relationship, and it's the same thing. And it's nothing. It's not a reflection on Sonic or Final Fantasy or anything.
No, obviously
It's just
not.
that when you get broken kids who are abused and tarnished and clinging to whatever sort of validation they can find or whatever sort of like small scrap of friendliness they can get from somebody, it's unfortunately a disgusting world out there full of disgusting people who are all too willing to give you that little tiny bit of validation just to control you or abuse you or keep you under their thumb.
Yeah, and some of those disgusting people were our age. That's the part that gets me.
Well, of course, because it's not about age. It's about where you are in life at that point. And and sometimes people get past it and they grow, and sometimes they don't get past it and then they become the person that takes it out on other people.
Yeah.
And Noun said something was all normal for us because normal to any person is just what you're surrounded by.
Yeah, that's kind of the sad thing. It's like we grow up surrounded by by abuse, and then we get online and we get abused by people like Jay Axa, and it all makes sense, but it just fits in because
Yeah.
and we don't have the tools to be able to recognize abuse for what it is. And it's funny you bring up PTLD though. Because I realized a couple of things a couple of years ago. Well, I really realized one thing. Back when Concert Points was still worth watching, before Natalie went off the deep end with the Truth Crime stuff, she posted the infamous video about incels. And while that video is super informative and all that, I want to point out that there was one little thing in that video that was really important to me. See, we're talking about something called digital self-harm. And in the case in that video she was talking about was people who, the incels, they had this forum, and they go on this forum, and it's basically entirely structured around reinforcing negative habits. It's like they post these pictures of themselves, and other people will tell them, you're ugly, you're never going to get a girl, or you might as well stick with us, blah, 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 blah. And she also talked about how the LGBT subforum on 4chan is basically a bunch of, trans girls telling each other that they're never going to pass, stuff like that. And she talked about how getting on these forums for this stuff, it's like there's a sense of, I don't know, a catharsis or something like that from being on these forums. And I realized that's kind of what happened with me and TTLG and Phantom Secrets, because I had this bad habit of going back and reading, old arguments I had with people on, not just on the forums or on Phantom Secrets, but, arguments I had with friends. And, I'd get mad at all of that, mad all over again. And I realized, I thought to myself, why was I doing this? It's like, at first I thought, I was looking for some vague sense of moral superiority, but then I realized what that feeling I was having is I was just feeling like shit.
And I think a lot of us have been through that. I mean, I myself have gone over old arguments and shit like that. And felt like shit,
didn't you sometimes go over, old troll comments you got on YouTube?
Well, that was more because they're funny.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I got a great comment, and I don't even know. It was like when I first bought the Wii, I made a video, and it was called I got a fucking Wii, and I was just like, yeah, here's the Wii, here's the games I got, whatever kind of thing. But I gave it this sarcastic reply, I got a fucking Wii, and this was 10 years ago, and I got this comment yesterday, and all it said was baller. I laughed for 5 minutes straight. I was like, that's like the best troll comment ever. I love it. That is really funny.
Okay, the best troll comment I ever got, and I want to say best because this actually didn't upset me. Okay, so after my dog Miki died, I posted a bunch of pictures of her on Tumblr. And I get this anonymous piece of shit, and he says,
I remember
Border
this.
Collie ownership equal proof of being a liberal cock. Get a real dog. And I'm just like, which of you fucking dipshits did I piss off this time that I got this comment?
Remember that comment that Sam got about
Oh
he
my
had a
god,
picture of a
yes, when
cat,
Sam
so
got
that's
into a
proof that he was
pro-Trump group
yeah.
and he shit posted like a madman. Someone was like, conceived by the picture of a cat that he's a lib, which admin allowed to adding him into the group. And I just thought that was funny. I mean, imagine thinking owning a cat is proof that you're a liberal.
Yeah, wow. I mean, these are people that think that if you eat soy, it'll make you gay or whatever. So, I mean, I always say, like, because I asked, like, what does soy boy even mean? Because I keep hearing it as this generic insult. And somebody explained to me that these people have this belief that...
comment.
Yeah, I say it, the cat's a soup. But I see these comments like soy boy, this and that. And these people actually believe that consuming soy products lowers your testosterone, which of course is the worst thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny because H-Bomber Guy actually had this whole video series about that. And it's basically one big middle finger to Paul Joseph Watson. Paul Joseph Watson was not amused. It's funny because Watson himself, he hawks, diet pills and stuff like that contain soy.
It's usually like under some kind of other name, so it's hard to find that out if you don't do research, but...
First of all, the concept of a diet pill is so ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, they're not good for anybody.
Right. Like losing weight is like really one of the hardest things. There is nothing that is going to make it easy.
Yeah.
And this is somebody who, over the period of, I think it was about 6 months, I lost 70 pounds. And it was like one of the best things that I ever did. And it was also incredibly obnoxiously difficult. I hated every second of it.
Yeah, you told me that you got into Pokemon Go so you wouldn't rage quit your exercise routine.
That was part of it, yeah, because I was exercising regularly. I was walking a lot, and Pokemon Go did give me the motivation to not stop. But it wasn't the exercise because I didn't mind that so much. It was like not eating a full meal, like what I consider to be a full meal.
Oh God, that is the worst part. Yeah, I gave up on that, and at this point, I'm just down to eating 2 meals a day.
Yeah, I mean, I have 2 meals and a snack. I have like breakfast, dinner, and then a snack. But it's like what drove me crazy was like being hangry. It's like I was always hungry all the time, and they tell you that you'll get used to it. And it's like even if like give me a ton of salad and I'll eat a ton of salad. You know what I mean? Give me more.
Yeah, because that's kind of the thing. You're always hungry.
Yeah.
Okay,
and that's the thing. Even if you eat a ton of salad every day, you'll get fat. It's just that there's no such thing as a diet pill. It's never going to be that easy.
Yeah, if they had some sort of diet pill that would like kill the hunger, that would make things so much easier.
You could die.
Yeah.
Because then you just
I'm a
eat.
millennial.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Okay.
Yeah, but me and Kitty aren't.
No, definitely not.
Well, let's see. I'm pretty sure Kitty's a millennial.
Okay, let me just...
Yes,
No, I said we're not okay with you dying.
Oh, okay. See, this is what happens
if you die,
when you have a
I'll
death
kill you.
Okay, and on that bombshell, I think it's 7:33 now. I think we're going to go ahead and end the stream. Thank you two for coming. I love you guys so much. I love you, Kitty.
Too, and I'm always happy to.
It was fantastic.
Okay. So let's go over the. I'm gonna switch over to the raid screen. So you guys won't be able to. You guys on the raid screen.
Can I ask a technical question?
Yes.
How do you get the animated scene that you have for is it a GIF or how does that work?
Yeah, it's a GIF.
Okay.
Oh, and I have a small thing. Since you changed a bunch of audio settings for GLOOMWAVE in particular, before you close slobs, write all those numbers down.
Yeah, you know what? I might as well do that. Let me take a quick. Let's go in.
This is something I've learned when I've had to like have different audio levels for different games.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you for that. Let me
That's that. I mean, that's why I always say, "Hey, how's the audio?" So I
Okay,
could just
well, I'm
adjust
gonna
it.
leave Discord where it is, but I do need that microphone. I do need that microphone thing set up right. So okay, so I got that screenshotted. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead
Oh,
and switch over. So thank
before,
you all for coming. Thank
hey,
you for thank the audience for being here. Let's go ahead and let's do a little raid. But
hey, June. Before we go, can I ask you two and also the chat one quick thing related to a meme I found earlier? I told Kitty about it, but you haven't heard it.
okay.
I saw this meme, and it was listed as the top 4 things with the most annoying fan bases. And I would like everybody to say what their number 5 would be. So, top 4 things with the most annoying fan bases. Number 1, the police. Number 2, the free market. Number 3, craft beer. And number 4, Elon Musk. Now, my personal consideration for number 5 would be the Confederacy. Oh, Sarity says Disney.
I'm gonna say not. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not even just gonna say the Confederacy. I'm just gonna say America.
And now it says capitalism.
I gave my answer before, but my answer is Jesus Christ.
That's a good one.
That's practically the same thing.
Oh,
It's a good one.
not wrong.
Or rather, the modern understanding of Jesus through the Western lens, which might be a good discussion to have in a future episode.
Well, yeah. So it's like it's not Jesus Christ itself that's bad. Himself, themselves.
It's
that's
his
bad.
fandom, yeah.
It's the fandom,
Yeah.
and the current fandom, the current iteration of the fandom sucks.
They need to go back to G1.
Okay. We're running out of time here, so I'm gonna go hop over to. I'm gonna hop over to the raid screen. Thank you all for coming. I'll see you on Discord. And let's see you right
Who are we
here.
rating?
We're gonna find out. Okay, so you won't be able to you won't come on the stream. I don't think once I switch over to the screen. So
Shouldn't, no.
so so good night to you too. And here we go. Okay, let's go over the schedule one more time. Tomorrow at 6, I think, is more prey. Yeah, I mean, oh my god. Anyway, shut up! Anyway, so tomorrow is going to be prey. Yeah, John is trying to make me laugh. For those of you who are confused, John is trying to make me laugh, and it's killing me. And he's succeeding. Anyway, so... Okay, shut up. Shut up. Okay. Tomorrow, more play at 6. Saturday at 4 is more XCOM. Sunday at 4 is more Kingsfield. Come back on Tuesday at 4 for more Final Fantasy VII. I probably will not have another show on Wednesday. I'm not sure how often I'm going to do this, but right now, I'm just going to just go with maybe, every 3 to 4 weeks. We'll play it by ear. But, I will see you, tomorrow for Prey. And let's find out who can raid. We got a couple options here. Kitty has a recommendation. What would that be? Not, you sounded like Kitty for a minute. I don't want to pay attention. Okay, yeah, that would work because I was going to pick one. Okay, so John just suggested that we raid Real Pixar, and that sounds like a good idea. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And thank you all for coming. I was really excited for doing this, and I love that we had a big audience for tonight, and so this has been a big success despite technical issues. So once again, thank you all for coming. I will see you on the flip side. Before we hit that raid button, though, let's do some sort of raid call. It needs to be something stupid like let's try You know what? I like John's idea better. Okay, so we're gonna go with John's idea. So, okay, well, let's go ahead and raid Real Pixel, and let everybody be ready to hit them with that raid call, and I'll see you on the other side. Let's hit. Okay. All right. Y'all have a great evening. Y'all have a fantastic evening. I know I have. And I'll see you on the flip.